Hey y'all, happy Monday. Okay, so I've already started this reading and I ended up breaking down because I'm just right now in a space of feeling ungrounded in a way where there's a part of me that wants to take a break from the readings, but I'm not necessarily sure if that is what is being asked of me right now. But based off of the cards that are here on the table and just based on what I'm feeling in the space that I'm in, it feels like a lot of things are crumbling right now. A lot of things are falling away. And that feels really messy, and that feels really, I don't even know if uncomfortable is the word. These messages don't always feel super personal, but this one does. I was thinking about redoing the cards, but something tells me that a lot of what I'm experiencing right now, I'm not the only one experiencing it. I'm reading a book called Sex at Dawn. And it is such a fascinating book. And one of the things that I'm getting lots of things from the book, but one of the things that's standing out, because we got this card, sexuality, and we got the goddess incarnate, body positivity. And the book talks a lot about the nature of human sexuality and like how as a society we have really decided to make our own rules and domesticate ourselves in ways that like scientifically don't really make sense. I'm still reading the book, so I'm going to try my best to articulate this the way that I'm meaning to. So back in the hunter-gatherer times, we were sharing, right? We were sharing shit. People were having sex with one another to build community. That is what people did. People also shared their food. They shared their resources. And as agriculture cropped up, people found it more logical to just have one partner so that they understood, I'm going out here, I'm doing all this work, I need to make sure that I'm providing for someone that's my child, that I'm providing for someone who is sexually only giving themselves to me so that I can guarantee paternity. And so the rise of agriculture is what brought upon the family unit. But before then, there was a lot more cooperation because communities shared everything. Okay, they shared their resources, they shared everything. Because of since the rise of agriculture and since the rise of the family unit, we have become less dependent on community and more dependent on what we can provide for ourselves, for our family, for our future. And in my opinion, I feel like so many of our issues stem from this very individualistic mindset of, this is mine and I don't want to share this, right? And so that leads us into people that are expressing and experiencing more greed rather than cooperation. And when I think about, wow, it was a truck, but it sounded like a dinosaur. I've also, just side note, my heart goes out to anybody who has experienced or is experiencing PTSD and like since the election results have kind of been on edge, airplanes and like there have been a lot of military planes flying over North Carolina, and it's been stressing me out. And so I just want to just send love to anybody else who has been feeling on edge in that way. But anyway, I feel like a lot of our issues stem from this individualistic mindset of, I earned this, so this is mine. I'm not sharing this. These are my possessions. But for so many of us, and just the fact that we are human beings, and for, you know, so many years before we got to agriculture, sharing was a part of our nature. And this collective care was a part of our nature. It was normal, right? But like now we have all these wars and all of this, these domestic disputes and abuse, and just like so much of the disarray that we experience, I feel like directly stems from this is mine. This mindset of this is mine. And if anybody messes with my stuff, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. That's why we have war. That's why we have communities of people that don't like other people. This is my country. My parents built this thing. I did this, so you don't belong here. Like, it's just like this very individualistic mindset that has been leading us astray. And so as we are needing more collective care, we are struggling because of this individualistic mindset. God, that word is... But anyway, I'm going to talk more about the book like as I move through it, but that was just something that I just wanted to just like insert. I really feel like one of the biggest issues that we have as a society is the fact that we have forced ourselves into boxes, into roles that don't actually make any sense for who we are. And so many of us are not walking around as our authentic selves. I was just watching a video. There are a lot of people, a lot of beautiful trans people that are talking about what they believe make a lot of cis human beings so uncomfortable. Why trans people make people so uncomfortable. And they were saying that trans people make people so uncomfortable because trans people are a reminder of the constructs that we have forced ourselves into, and trans people serve as a reminder that you don't actually have to live in any of that shit. And a lot of times trans people just being present is literally aggravating to those people that are not living authentically. And I believe that in so many ways we are all in one way or another sacrificing our needs for others, sacrificing our authenticity for others. And it's become such a deeply ingrained thing that we haven't even given ourselves the opportunity to ask, why am I doing this like this? Why am I living my life like this? This body positivity card, you know, we spend our lives trying to fit some specific mold of physically how we think we need to look, and it's just like, it's actually extremely ridiculous. Because why should anybody have to look any certain way to be accepted in the world? Why should we have to, women in particular, hide our sexual nature, hide our sensual nature? There are so many of us that have forced ourselves into these boxes that never made any sense. And so many of us haven't even been able to do the work to even realize how deeply we have been buried into these boxes. And a lot of what's happening in the world, it's like a lot of it's just like our inner children are just running around screaming and asking why. Like, why? This card, Deep Replenishment, came up. And I really, for me, I keep feeling like I'm coming up against these barriers. Like, I keep trying to like do stuff to make things better, to make myself better, and I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so angry. I'm so like and I know that I'm not the only one because I'm speaking right now, which I fully intended to not do this morning, because I don't know, there's a part of me that just feels so, not even indifferent, but just like ready to cut away whatever isn't making sense, but also like so tired at the thought of what that even consists of. This story of my life card says, as I tell myself the story of what's happening in my life, I choose to make it the kind of story where even the tough parts have a sort of inner beauty. It's ultimately a happy story where every character, no matter how wicked, is doing their best. And let me tell you, it'll be worth it when I earn that Pulitzer Prize for Best Inner Monologue. So, you might be a person you might be someone that's struggling right now. If you found this, you're probably struggling in one way or another. Even if it is just with the social constructs and just really starting to ask why are we doing anything that we're doing? And I really think that question goes back to this crumbling and the fact that we collectively are ready to let go. Some of us are not ready to let go of what is not serving us, but I think those of us that are not ready to let go, honestly, I think so much of it goes back to being blocked sexually. Like, being blocked sexually means that you're blocked creatively. It means that you're not living authentically, and if you're not living authentically, there's gonna be pain, there's gonna be anger, there's gonna be frustration, there's gonna be confusion, there's gonna be blockages that can make us sick, can make us not want people in our lives, to make us sabotage our lives. Like, collectively, we are struggling. And I don't feel that it's a bad thing, but I just think that's where we are right now. But I think this card, this Inner High Priestess card, really wants us to deeply replenish so that we can get on a course. I won't even say back on course. So we can get on a course that actually makes sense for us, so that we can start to teach others based on the things that we've learned, based on the things that we have observed or gathered along our journey, along this journey of finding ourselves, along this journey of trying to figure out what we're clinging on to, and what needs to crumble. And that's hard. I think so many of us right now, we just need to be held. Like, I think we need to be held, and we need to really fully embrace ourselves and ask ourselves what we need and how we can go about getting that. Because I think we're at a point where it is completely necessary for us to fully invest in who we are and what we need and what makes us authentic, what makes us unique, what makes us beautiful. Because all of these constructs and these ways that we are keeping ourselves blocked, keeping ourselves hidden, we have to really start to ask ourselves why. Why? so that we can finally come home to ourselves. Because what's happening individually is happening collectively. A lot of what you will find collectively, we can find internally. Like, a lot of the struggles, the oppression, like, it's also happening within us. There are so many nuances and so many things that are happening collectively that if we were to take the time to find what we really want and need collectively, naturally, we would be able to start to work through some of these bigger issues. But it really does start with us. It really does start with us being advocates for ourselves. It really does start with us unapologetically saying, fuck all the bullshit. This is who I am and this is what I'll be doing, and not sacrificing that for anybody, because we don't have to. And our beautiful, beautiful trans brothers and sisters are beautiful reminders of what is possible when we allow ourselves to say, no, I don't have to live like this, Savannah. Did not quote that right, because one thing about me, I'm not gonna quote it right, but you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to live like you. You don't have to live like me. Nobody has to live like anybody else. But the way this country was structured, we built these rules and we domesticated ourselves. But like, we need to start to reevaluate those choices because it's just not working. So what are we gonna do? What we gonna do now? What we gonna do now? What you gonna say now? That's Lauryn Hill. I'm trying to remember what song it was. I'll put it in. Right, I ran out of storage on my phone. And that was a nice burp. I'm so sorry, but that felt great. I ran out of storage on my phone, and maybe that's a sign for us to start to clear some shit. It's time to clear some shit out. It's time to clear all them old pictures and shit that you're not looking at no more. That's just taking up space. It's time to get rid of them. It's time to get rid of them. I'm talking to myself, but if this is relevant to if this is relevant to you too, then. But yeah. Oh my God. I don't know if you guys are like so exhausted, but I'm feeling so exhausted. But you know, we're here. We're still here. I hope you guys have a great week. And hang in there, because we're hanging in. We're hanging in, guys. I also pulled this tree card. This is a past life card. And when I think about when I see this, when I pull this card in regards to past life, it just reminds me of marijuana. And the herbs that we once used to heal ourselves. This might be relevant to you in a different way, but that's what comes up for me when I see this card. And I just feel like maybe there are herbs, not maybe, I'm sure there are herbs and things that can help us as we move through this clearing. And maybe that herb is just a little bit of marijuana, you know? Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing week. Yeah, and I'll talk to you guys on Monday.